Multiple unnamed students thought it was humorous to draw swastikas on the faces of deceased Holocaust victims.
Scottsdale dad Aaron Shepard felt a sense of sadness when he read the email.
It was such a terrible moment in our world's history.
From one of his son's 7th grade teachers sent out over the weekend. The teacher from Desert Canyon Middle School was letting parents know about some students who vandalized the World War II and Holocaust exhibit he helped create. The Vandals thought it was humorous to draw swastikas on the faces of deceased Holocaust victims and ripped up posters about the Holocaust.
No excuse. No, it's a really terrible thing.
The social studies teacher said the interactive museum was meant to be an engaging learning opportunity for students to express empathy towards the victims of the Holocaust. Instead, a few kids made a mockery of the lives lost to Adolf Hitler and the Nazis.
If I was their parents, I'd be afraid, like, what are my kids, what are they doing out there? Are they on social media, or are they learning this type of behavior? Are they seeing things online that would preempt this kind of behavior?
Arizona's family reached out to the Scottsdale School District and was sent this statement. We are deeply disturbed to learn of the hateful defacing of instructional material by a student or students at Desert Canyon Middle School. The incident is being investigated by the school and school district in conjunction with the Scottsdale Police Department. Any student determined to have been involved will be held accountable in accordance with the district's student code of conduct.
Prior to being sent to several concentration camps.
Dr. Lawrence Bell is executive director of the Arizona Jewish Historical Society, which has an exhibit devoted entirely to Holocaust education. He's hoping this latest incident will serve as a teaching moment for parents, educators, and members of the community.
The minute you stop remembering what happened in the Holocaust, stop remembering that these kinds of things can happen, they'll happen again. And we don't want to see that moment occur.
It was just recently that a Holocaust survivor visited this middle school. District officials say this latest incident is a clear sign that more work needs to be done educating students about this part of history and what its impact is on the community. Jason Berry for Arizona's Family.